Welcome to the Academic Writing Amplified podcast. On this podcast, we believe that the culture of academia needs to change radically. Women and non-binary people are revolutionizing academia within institutions that were not built for us. If you're ready to reject the culture of overwork, kick guilt and overwhelm to the curb, and amplify your voice to make a real impact on your field without breaking down or burning out, you're in the right place. With our team of experienced writing coaches as co-hosts, we'll share insights and talk to inspiring guests to bring you the practical strategies, systems, and mindset shifts you need to find time to write, publish work you love, and design your career on your terms. And it all starts with writing. Let's go. Hello, it's Kathy Mazek from Scholar's Voice, and today I'm talking about the good thing that your lack of publications is telling you about your career. Okay, so definitely file this under, let's assess and appreciate the upside of things, because many of you are out there with lots of almost done, partially done drafts of publications, and without the kind of record of publications out in the world that accurately reflects your impact that you can really have, the impact you know you can have, or to not use the buzzword impact, but the influence that you can have in your field. You know that you can do it. You just have this pipeline that's all clogged up. So you've got lots of ideas, lots of almost done or partially started publications, and you don't have the in-press or, out in the world pubs that you kind of should have or you feel would better represent, what you can actually do. So today we are talking about how, what are, you probably have a lot of negative messages about that in your head. Like maybe you have some negative self-talk around your productivity or around your ability to focus or around your ability to just sit down and get it done, or maybe to work harder or something. Let's throw all of that BS out the window and talk about what is the good thing about your career, or the good things about your career that clogged up pipeline is really telling you. All right. So before I get started, I want to say that today's episode is brought to you by our Navigate Your Writing Roadmap 12-week program. This is a program for professors who have clogged up pipelines and want to change your careers to be focused on writing so that you can get those publications out and really have the career that you want. We are enrolling now. We are taking applications to our program. We have a 3-step application process. The first is a short application form, and the second is scheduling a call with me, where we are going to discuss the third thing, which is a self-assessment that you will be taking before your call. Once you're through that process, if we both agree that Navigate is a good fit for you, then you will be getting started in our next cohort, which is starting August 14th, running to, I think, November 4th, 12 weeks. And I will be linking to the description of the program with the call times, the pricing, everything, so that you know upfront before you apply exactly what the program is about, what you're getting, and why it's such a beautiful and wonderful coaching program to be a part of. So go check out that document, get all your information, and then if this sounds good to you, please apply. Again, we are enrolling now until August 4th. If you are listening to this in real time, go find the application at scholarsvoice.org/navigate. There's a pink button that says apply now. If you're not listening in real time, that pink button is going to say get on the wait list. So you should do that if we are not in an enrollment period when you find this video or podcast. All right. So the good thing that a lack of publications is telling you. All right. So these are the positive things, and then what you can do to retain those positive things and then also get that publication pipeline flowing. So the good thing that a lack of publications is probably telling you is that you are a colleague in demand. It probably means that lots of people want to work with you. So they are asking for your time. They want to co-author with you. Students want to be mentored by you. And there is kind of like this feeling that you are really good at what you do, and other people recognize that and they kind of want a piece of it, right? They want to be rolling with you. And that's what we find so many of our Navigate participants are up against, is that it's certainly not that they're lazy, that they don't know how to organize themselves or anything like that. It's actually that they are so good at what they do that the more good they are at their professor work, at their research, at their teaching, the more everybody wants them to do things, right? In the cynical way to think about it is that, that thing that people say, like, don't be too good at your at your service work, or everybody will be just like asking you to do service all the time, which is very cynical, right? But really, it's true that when you are doing great work in the world, when you are a thoughtful colleague, people are going to want to work with you, and you're going to have lots of requests for your time. And another good thing that lack of publications is telling you is that probably you want to help people, right? Like, you care about other people. You care about students doing well, so you want to mentor them. You care about your colleagues and their research ideas, so you want to collaborate with them. So that, like, being excellent at what you do attracts people to you. Caring about others, which is definitely a positive quality, right? A good thing. Caring about your colleagues, your students, the people you work with, the lives that your career touches. That's a great thing, right? And what happens when we combine excellence in your job with deep caring for others? Many times what happens is that pulling that people talk about feeling, like I'm pulled in 1,000 directions. I have too many things going on. And a lot of times we'll get clients who, like, they show up at the Navigate program at this moment that now they're kind of mad, right? So they used to be flattered by being asked to be on things. They were excited to work with students. But now they need to get these publications out because they want a new job, or they want to get promoted, or they're trying to get grants. And now they're kind of mad, like a little bit at the people who asked them to do so many things, and a little bit at themselves for saying yes so much. So I think a lot of times when we're thinking about our own productivity or our own lack of publications out in the world, we end up having a lot of negative thoughts and a lot of judgment, and we think that it's a character flaw. Like that somehow we are, that our character is flawed and we're just not disciplined enough or smart enough or something to be able to handle all the aspects of the job, and also including the very important aspect of the job, which is getting the writing and publishing done. But what I'm telling you is that it is not it's not a character flaw. It is not a weakness. It is actually probably something wonderful about your character and about your intelligence and everything that, again, you're doing. You're successful. You are nice to work with. You're caring towards others, and people get attracted to that and ask for pieces of your time. So then that can lead to frustration and a little bit of resentment, which we don't want to feel, right? Like, we don't want to feel resentful to our poor innocent students and our colleagues who are just trying to collaborate and do something cool, right? Like, we don't want to feel that resentment, but a lot of people get to Navigate and they are a bit resentful and a little bit kind of mad at themselves, I guess, for saying yes so many times. There's sometimes this feeling like, oh, I got myself into this situation. So what I want to say is that just because you got yourself into that situation doesn't mean you're supposed to know how to get yourself out of the situation. That's why we have a coaching program around writing and publishing, because it is not a clear, straightforward thing to undo all the yeses or to calm the yeses, so that you are taking on an amount, like a workload that you can really handle. In fact, that is a skill that you need to develop throughout your career. And it doesn't stop. Like, it's not like you can learn once how to, when to say yes and no to things and then never learn it again. Like, it is a lesson that you will learn and relearn and continue to think about, because you are going to change physically, mentally, as your career goes on. So what you can handle now isn't necessarily like what you're going to be able to handle 3 years from now. Like, something could happen in your life, and probably will, and we all have cycles of ups and downs, that might mean that you have to say no even more later in the future. It's something that you're going to constantly be reevaluating. As your priorities change, you're going to want to say yes and no to different requests for your time. Different seasons of your career, you're going to want to manage those yeses and nos. The point is to begin the process, right? To start to think about, like, how do I want to manage my time so that my career has the results that I want it to have for me. Like, maybe right now your career is having the result that everybody else wants it to have, right? That you're saying yes, you're co-authoring, you're collaborating, you're mentoring everybody, you're helping everybody out. You also need to pay good attention to what you want your career to do for you, right? Like, how you need to kind of recenter and prioritize yourself and your work so that it doesn't get lost in all the pulling of everybody else asking for your time. And again, back to the title of this episode, which is the good thing that a lack of publications is telling you, is that you are in demand, that you're smart, that you're thoughtful, that you are compassionate, right? Those are all wonderful qualities, and we don't want to get rid of those qualities at all. We want to develop the clarity and discernment needed to also be able to foster your own development in the way, the professional development in the way it needs to happen, which for many people who come and find me on the internet or find Scholar's Voice on the internet, it's that you're having this problem with, I have a lot of partially done publications and not enough out there in the world. So I hope that this helped you to kind of realize that sometimes we get into situations that we might consider to be negative through a perfectly positive path. Like, we made happy decisions. We did great things in the world. And we find ourselves with something that we consider to be negative or that needs improvement, right? In this case, the number of publications that are getting all the way through the pipeline and published out there in the world. So it's not your fault. It's not like something to judge yourself about. It's something to be aware of and then work on developing that clarity and that discernment that's going to help you make better decisions going forward. Decisions that are not only good for everyone else around you, but are also good for yourself. Okay? And that is really the most important skill that we can develop, that discernment around making decisions that are good for you and your career and what you want to achieve and what you want the result of so much effort to be. So I hope that you enjoyed that little episode today. I hope that you also, if you are thinking about maybe joining our Navigate Your Writing Roadmap program, do go to scholarsvoice.org/navigate, find the pink button, apply today if you're listening live to start the application process and make your call with me and go over your self-assessment. So together we can decide whether Navigate is the right next step for you. We would love to have you. We would love to work with you on clarity and discernment. That is a big part of the program, and we help you figure it out with not only with tools and strategies, but with coaching, which is, I think, the key part to it all. All right. So sending you lots of hugs today. Don't change their wonderful, smart, generous personality. Work on clarity, work on discernment, work on making decisions that go in favor of you. All right. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time supporting yourself and your writing by listening to this episode. If you like what you heard today, the best way to say thank you is to hop on over to Apple iTunes and write an honest review. The more reviews, the more amazing academic women and non-binary people will find this podcast. So go write one now.